What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, going through a few comments and things, and just wanted to do a video on a question that was asked about loads while you're leasing with Prime. So the question was, are we able to choose our own loads with Prime? Great question. So Prime has a couple different setups that they have. The majority of us, when we get our loads, is sort of like Forrest Gump talking about a box of chocolates, because you just never know what you're going to get. Now, that being said, you do have the ability to turn down a load or things like that, so you just don't need to take that specific load that pops up. But then the next thing you might get is another random load that you really don't have much of a choice over. Now, I have seen in cases, or had cases with myself where I turned down a load and then was able to get a little bit specific on what I wanted, but that's not going to be something that I would say is generally the case. Now, there are a certain few people that are involved with what Prime would call their load choice board, and I'm not 100% sure of how that works, but I do, from my understanding, is that for the most part you have 3 loads that you can choose from at any given time, and then if you don't choose those 3, they'll send you 3 more loads, and then if you turn all those down, then you need to get with your dispatcher. I've kind of heard a few different things about that, but that's about as close as you can get to a load board. I know that I think somebody was trying to make comparisons between Prime and Schneider. I think Schneider, from what I've seen, may have, this sun is getting to me right now, I think Schneider might have more of like a true load board. I'm not sure if Prime is ever going to get to that situation where they actually have a true load board for their owner-operators that, or not owner-operators, their lease operators that are with them. Maybe, on some of their outside type stuff where you might just be power only, but that's a totally different platform. So anyway, that is the answer to that. Do I wish we had a load board? I do. And again, I'm not going to say that I'm more super concerned about the money and everything like that, because for the most part, and I'd done a video where I'd said that I'd taken a load that was like 98 cents a mile. Typically those loads are not going to be paying that low. And keep in mind, for some of you guys that are outside of, or maybe owner operators, things like that, when we're saying that we're making 98 cents a mile, most of the time, if I'm going to be calculating that, I'm going to be calculating that with all miles, and our fuel discount is tremendous. So I know a lot of people that are owner operators that are dealing with, they might have a fuel discount card or something like that where they're able to get a little bit of a discount. We're saving a whole lot of money on fuel, so it's hard to really look at that and say that that in itself is a bad load just because it's paying 98 cents a mile. For those of you guys that are just thinking about getting into leasing, I know a lot of people focus on this cents per mile type situation. In reality, you have to kind of look at it as a combination of not only just cents per mile, but dollars per day as well. Sometimes it may make sense to take a low load that's, or take a load that's really not paying all that well cents per mile, but the dollars per day is banging. And sometimes it's the exact opposite. Sometimes you're getting a huge cents per mile, but it may not make sense from a dollar per day standpoint. So those are just, this is just coming from somebody that's a fairly new truck driver. So, I may be wrong in things. This is just my opinion. There's other drivers out there that have been driving a lot longer whose opinions may carry a little bit more weight. This is just from a rookie that's trying to make it out here in this crazy world, and things that I've kind of noticed along the way. Anyway, I do want to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I do appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.